Is it clear? A little bit, but if you still don't get it, let's take another example. Let's say there is a new privacy law called GDPR or CCPA, which are very popular. GDPR is the EU-specific compliance law, and CCPA is the California Consumer Privacy Policy or Privacy Act. So what they say is an organization should not reveal or save or sell any information which is personally identifiable information of a consumer, which is also in short called as PII, which is nothing but personally identifiable information. Those can be anything from a customer's first name, last name, email, phone number, device ID, card ID, anything. So now as per the policy, you should notify the consumers that they're adhering to that policy, which means you should give them a notification saying, hey, valuable customer, as per this law, we have so-and-so personally identifiable information of yours. If you have any questions, come back to us. Or if you want us to encrypt the data, we can encrypt it for you so that it is not misused or it is not sold out of our organization. Now, you have to make all that change in your existing architecture, which in this example, in this small screenshot, I have 36 technologies. That's an example again, which is a usual case, right? You have different source systems, you have ETL, you have with big data coming in, there are lots of open source systems, and there is a data lake, there is a data virtualization layer, somebody call it a data hub, and then there is data visualization layer. So there are multiple technologies involved. Now, considering the customer life cycle and the different connections from where that sale is coming from, you need to encrypt that data from your source till your target. Now you have to encrypt all the personally identifiable information of a customer in the whole technology stack of your organization. You publish this information to your, let's say, the enterprise architecture team will come and say that, okay, phone number is in personally identifiable information or personal information. Why don't we start getting a estimate of how much time it would take just to encrypt the phone number? Then we will collect all the rest of the attributes and then decide on the overall plan, estimation, and all that. So the enterprise architects communicated to the individual project managers. Tech lead comes into picture. They say phone number, it's simple, I'll figure it out. Let's forget about the value. Let's just take the metadata or the column name. It is there as phone number in your data source. And then in your data collection area, it is called as mobile phone number. And then in your analytics area, it is called as telephone number. And then in your result store, it's called as something else. And then your data consumer layer, it's called as something else. Now, if you take the value itself, it could be 10 numbers with a hyphen here, 10 numbers without hyphen. This telephone number can be prefixed with the country code, different formats. So a simple thing of phone number being encrypted has become a huge task now. Now, if you take a similar kind of examples, let's take customer ID. It can be called as cust ID, customer ID. It could be a customer number, customer identification, customer identifier, guest ID, guest number. End of it, it is all a unique identifier of your customer record. That's another complexity. We haven't even spoken about the derived values. What about total sales? What about net sales? Total tax, total discount? Is it the same name across the system or the aggregation, or is it different? To identify that itself will take months. And it's not that the whole team is ready and waiting for this task to be done. They have other things at hand, which means you have to prioritize, which means you have to put your book of work plan stuff on hold and do this activity. So operationally, if you did not have a metadata which is showing you customer ID in ERP is and customer number in data collection is guest ID in data consumer layer. Unless you have that, it'll be a nightmare identifying simple task and doing very simple activity of encrypting something. So all these kind of questions and multiple other things. I mean, as you know, if you're in a data project already, you'd know how complex can things get with a simple column. Now imagine those things happening at an enterprise level. Imagine the chaos each team has, and the enterprise architects have to deal with them and come up with solutions to give them that. So it's a huge task which can be easily solved with a proper solutioning or with a proper management of metadata.